Flames have called this race by a landslide victory. Over 40% of the votes of Pennsylvanians. So listen, to all our volunteers, over 450 and more volunteers who have worked absolutely hard, tirelessly, with tremendous effort. Today, the fruit of your labor has shown by what has occurred in this landslide victory.
We did this campaign without smearing and sliming any other candidate. We didn't spend multi-millions of dollars to do what we did. We were fiscal stewards of the money that came in from the grassroots movement. This shows you our ability as the governor-to-be, Doug Mastriano, will lead the state of Pennsylvania. Your freedoms are going to be restored. Your families are going to be rebuilt. The economy is going to be revived under Mastriano. And no longer will the government lay on your shoulders, subjugating you to tyranny. But you will be a free people, as there'll be a reducing of the burden of the government on your shoulders. Now, everybody who knows Doug well enough, they know that where he is not because of him. It's because of this beautiful woman that stands beside him. She's been a prayer warrior, she's been a confidant to him, and she's been one who's been a wisdom carrier, giving forward just insight to things. Welcome Remy to introduce Doug.
You know what? We love you guys too. So we wouldn't be here without you all. Without your love, your support, without your hard work, without your financial support, over and over. It's not just about us.
Well, I'm in job, Mastriano. Supporters are all excited here at the Orchard Restaurant in Franklin County as they celebrate his win. Now, at this time, the numbers are still rolling in, but Mastriano took 43% of the vote, and right behind him is Lou Barletta, who has 23% of the vote, and Bill McClain right behind him is 50%. Coming into tonight, Mastriano received an endorsement from former President Donald Trump. Meanwhile, some Republicans threw their support behind another candidate. State Senator Jake Connick and Congresswoman Melissa Hart both dropped out of the race for governor and endorsed Barletta for the position. Those endorsements did not have an impact on Mastriano's campaign tonight. He opened his remarks tonight, making it clear that his campaign has no tolerance for hate and bigotry, and it's time to bring back the true land of the free and home of the brave. He ended his remarks tonight citing the acts of what he says are failed politicians and failed politicians.
I made a mental note to stay away from him, but thankfully he pursued, so, you know, what can I say? He is the hardest working, most dedicated husband and father and military man that you'd ever meet. And I've watched him just dig in and transform units that were very broken and that had low morale and that just were not functioning at a high level. And so that's why I know and why I believed in him this whole time, that this is something that he could do for our state, that he could transform Pennsylvania. Yes, yes, yes. As you all know, he has a lot of credibility with the PhD for a master's degree, and he's written several books, and he's an award-winning author. And I've been out in the Argonne forest in France with him researching on one of those books. So trust me, he's very tenacious. He doesn't give up easily. We spent hundreds of hours and many weekends researching in the Argonne forest, and God blessed, and we were able to actually find the proof of Sergeant York's feat that he had out there, which we were having revisionists rewriting history and saying things didn't happen, but we were able to prove that it did. So he loves history, he loves people. You could not find a better man to be your governor, Doug Mastriano.
God is good, and all the time. Any freedom-loving Americans in the house here? Wow, 1 Corinthians 1:27 gives us all hope. God uses the foolish to confound the wise, and the weak to confound the strong, right? That's his story, and he uses people like you and me to change history. I always like to say, when we make his story our story, we can change history. But it's been a time to try our souls. I'm looking across the past couple years here, and I'm looking at some other champions out here that fought with us. And you remember when the schools shut down and they mashed up your kids, deprived your kids of athletic opportunities, scholarships, of their education, of their prom, of life, masking them up for no scientific reason to do that. Remember your businesses, you know, essential, not essential? Not essential? Not in my Pennsylvania, what do you say? Absolutely not. It was a dark time in Levine, you know, follow the science. You know, only a Democrat can get away with failed policies of sending the sick into homes, killing thousands, and get away with it. And their darling, of course, would be promoted to Admiral, Woman of the Year. Anyway. But they like to call people who stand on the Constitution far right and extreme. I repudiate that. That is crap. That is absolutely not true. Actually, their party, which the media stands for and advocates for, they've gone extreme. They're the ones that sent the sick back in their homes, their policies, Democrat policies, and killed so many. That's extreme. That's extreme, forcing your kids to mask up. That's extreme, forcing healthcare workers to lose their job from not getting a jab. It's extreme when you shut down half of the small businesses in our state and put people out of their life. That's extreme. Our view for Pennsylvania is one of hope and freedom, that people come here and walk as they see fit, not as some governor or some media hack sees fit. That's right. We're going to restore the dream to Pennsylvania, a place where you want to come and live. We're going to be the most prosperous state in the nation. We're going to open up our energy sector like you've never seen it before. Yep. We're going to go from number 3 in the nation energy producer to number 1. That's going to bring jobs here, life here, prosperity here. It's going to be a marvel to watch. You know, Josh Shapiro is backed by dark money, by unions, by corruption. They think they could win this by throwing $20 and $30 million around. But the people of Pennsylvania, we're no longer asleep, and we do not consent. We saw in our own race here, one guy had like $16 million, right? And it's like single digits. I mean, you cannot buy elections anymore. Maybe that was true before COVID, but our eyes are wide open. I know as you travel the state here, we have a massive movement of people from the width and length of Pennsylvania who don't always agree with us on all issues. In fact, many of them used to be Democrats and recently switched so they could vote for us here, and it's fantastic. John Adams said, our second president, facts are stubborn things, right? And as you are out collecting, you've got to keep an eye on that phone there, sorry. As you're out there collecting a record number for a Republican gubernatorial candidate, 29,000 signatures get me on the ballot. You converted it was beautiful. Thank you for doing that. That's when the swamps are like, uh-oh, maybe we should not discount this movement. You converted thousands of Democrats in this movement here. Their party has left them behind. We're going to work, Rebbe and I, together with you, we had the hardest working campaign in this primary. We're going to have the hardest working campaign in this general election. Anyone watch our bus tour last week? Anyone paying attention saw that several of our stops were in traditional Democrat strongholds, like Pittsburgh and Erie. Erie, downtown Erie, we had 500 people come to our event. I mean, it's fantastic. This is infectious here because we all love freedom. Everyone wants to walk and live as free men and women, right? I know you do. Come on. So our number one goal is to restore freedom, right? So on day one, any mandates are gone. Yep. On day one, any jab for job requirements are gone. On day one, I'll be happy to reinstate any National Guard member or Air Guard member that was kicked out because of the jab for job requirement. Yep. On day one, school transparency will be ordered. I mean, there's so much here. On day one, CRT's over. Like the media and the left lectured us over the past years, follow the science. We're going to exactly do that and follow the science, right? So that means only biological females can play on biological female teams. I don't know how a biological male can join a girls' team, go from like 500, 467, you know, on the men's team, go to the females' team, he's number one. Is that fair? Follow the science. We will. Yep. On day one, you can only use the bathroom that your biology anatomy says and not the one you... I mean, this is how low we've gone. Because, of course, we'll be misportrayed or painted in a dour picture by not our friends in the media. But the truth is the people of America, the people of Pennsylvania are tired of being trodden upon. We saw that dad, brokenhearted in Loudoun County, Virginia, and he got upset at a school board meeting because the school board covered up his daughter being raped by a guy in the girl's bathroom, and they covered it up, and then he was arrested. Something has gone wrong in our country. I mean, it's the time they're calling evil good and good evil. So on day one, we're reaffirming parental rights. This is all hopeful. The Democrats have a dark vision for Pennsylvania. Josh Shapiro will be a continuation of the deadly and dangerous and extreme far-left policies of Tom Wolf, where your kids are taught to hate each other in schools, where union bosses call the shots. In this America, in this Pennsylvania here, you're going to walk as free men and women and live in joy and peace and prosperity. You're going to walk in freedom. You want to talk about extreme? Democrat governors around the nation here want to kill babies even up to birth, and some are talking about after birth. That's extreme. That's denying the science. That's immoral. Wrong. Every baby deserves a right to life. What do you think? Every single baby. I love the, we'll continue here. You know, we're going to walk in joy and peace here. We're blessed. We can only make it, though, through this next 6 months or so with your continued support. You know, this is a people's movement. You know, we saw the efforts by the establishment to undercut us. But the numbers I'm seeing, it looks like we're over 40% of the vote went for us in a 9-person race. There's 9 names on the ballot. I don't care what they did the past couple, 9 names on the ballot. Let me put this in historic perspective, because I've been reading some whining out there from some of the people sad that they backed the wrong guy. I know. Let's put it in, I'm a historian, so forgive me. So the last time we had an election like this was 1978, when the party had the courage to let the people decide. So, you know, hats off to the state party for first not putting their finger on the scale. So if you give it up to them, it wasn't easy. And by the way, the races that they had endorsed only won 25% of the time. So it was a good idea not to do that anymore. So Dick Thornburgh, I think there was actually 7, I said 5. There were 7 people in Dick Thornburgh's race in 1978, a bad economy like Biden under Carter, and he won the election with only 33% of the vote. There was no whining, he doesn't have a mandate, and he went on to be one of our best governors 2 terms. 33%. Tom Ridge, 1994, won with 35% of the vote, and went on to be a 2-term governor. So we got a mandate that's more massive than Thornburgh, right? Huh? Think about it. And we love Dick Thornburgh and Tom Ridge. And so we're going to take this state by storm. We're going to restore freedom and liberty. We're going to remember what our founding fathers, all of which spent time in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, creating this beautiful nation that we have. The founding documents, all founded upon the belief that all men are created equal and that we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We're going to get back to basics. This is our time, right? This is our hour. This is our day. Obviously, one of the things foremost on our mind is school choice. If we get that right, that also helps us to attack property taxes. Anyone have property taxes going on out there? And we're tired of being lied to. Remember back under Governor Rendell? You know, all that gambling money going to Jersey. We just built some casinos in Pennsylvania. Your property taxes will go away. How'd that work out for you, Pennsylvania? Maryland, too, huh? How about the gas tax in 2013? We'll bring in this gas, and I was still in the Army. I didn't have anything to do with this. Bring the gas tax in, it'll fix our roads and bridges. We promise you. How'd that work out for you? Like, we got bridges falling down outside of Pittsburgh. You know, look, this one last thing here. I mean, failed politicians in politics have stirred so many of us that want to have nothing to do with politics. All I wanted to do all my life was be in the military, you know, and I served 30 years on active duty, and it was an honor to serve with so many beautiful men and women, you know, across this state, from around this nation, and even around this world. But as I was about to ride off into the sunset with a sweet job like most senior officers get after they retire, you know, I was complaining about the condition of the country. And I was challenged by Levi Clevenger. Anyone remember him? Yeah? Yep. I'm complaining off air at 103.7, you know, man, all my service was really for nothing. The country's falling apart. And Levi looked over at me and said, well, Colonel, do something about it. I'm like, ouch, Levi, that hurts. I thought that. I didn't say it. Oh, Levi's, thank you, Levi. He's now in Special Forces qualification training right now. Yeah, that's a tough course. I didn't go, yeah. You know, the irony was almost in my entire adult life, I had to put aside politics. I had to remain apolitical. We don't want our military politicized. And so you think how bad it had to be to kick somebody like me hard enough to say, okay, now run for office. It was not something Rebby and I aspired to, but we saw a need. And so I'm looking across the room here. Many of you stood in the gap with us. You saw a need. Can I see the hands of those who've never given to a political campaign before? Keep them up for a second. One more second. Wow, that's almost half the room. You see what's going on here? You know, the pollsters, when they call up, they call the people that voted for the 4 last elections or 3 of the 4 last elections. They're not calling most of you guys here. They're not calling you in these primaries if you converted from independent or Democrat. There's this movement here that's going to shock the state here on November 8th. It's going to be beautiful. And it's going to be nothing but good. You know, at the rallies we had and the fair and balanced coverage I got from the media there, Mastriano had another rally. Very reckless, irresponsible, no masks, hardly any distancing. And then Wolf literally can come out the next day with his restriction to 25 or less at rallies. He can go out for the BLM cause, protest with a Blue Lives Murder behind his head, which I reject and repudiate. Protected by a PSP officer, by the way. And then not be called out by the media. But, you know, and in fact, Levine actually spelled it out. Levine said, well, our causes are right and just, and ours aren't. I mean, is this East Germany? The future for Pennsylvania under Josh Shapiro is an oppressive regime, not unlike East Germany, where your freedoms will be snatched away. So let's walk in freedom. Let's choose this day. Let's choose this day to serve the Lord. And as I wrap it up here, I'm going to ask, did I miss anything? If you want the details, my platform, go to doug4gov.com. Doug4gov.com. It's really not that hard. You know, we love you guys. We thank you all for standing with us and making this possible here. I mean, I'm constantly looking around here and seeing people